Now we have over 2 years of the COVID-19 and the human today and also the world the facing COVID-19 we so-called, and also Ukraine, the war there. And like Xi Jinping in the First World War, second. And as a senior Jungian analyst and also Yi Jing and Inner Truth, what's the meaning of Jungian psychology today when we are facing so difficult the COVID-19 and the Ukraine today, John, for your intuition?
Well, let me answer rather by telling you an experience I had this year, which made me respect the unconscious as much as Jung did. Our understanding requires more than just our subjectivity. There is in the unconscious a faculty of absolute knowledge. So, of course, in these hard times, it's particularly helpful to listen to our dreams, to write them down, to be patient, and to find out what it thinks is happening. So may I share quickly something that I had, which was a dream a few months ago, very few months ago, but I'll tell you when it was. It came about 1 week before I first heard the term Omicron, which is the latest and most infectious form of the COVID virus that has been passing around the world. And so, like many people, I had many thoughts about the pandemic, and I was hoping that it would be coming to an end. But one night I had a dream. And it was one of those dreams that went on all night long. And no matter how many times I tried to just go, I was sleeping, but every time I wanted to get away from the dream kept on dreaming and it would not stop dreaming. There were no people in the dream. There were no pictures. And there was no sound. The dream consisted of 5 words in English, but the dream the dream just kept saying the same 5 words over and over. And every time I said, I get it, the unconscious didn't believe me that I got it. And it said the words again. So when I finally woke after this night, I said, I guess I better listen to those 5 words because I've been listening to them all night long. These were the words. These are not normal times. Those were the 5 words that were repeated to me over and over and over again. If I recall correctly, it was last February or March. I have never been more grateful to the unconscious because I had had that dream. I could get through these terrible weeks and months in which so many bad things happened all at the same time that shouldn't be happening, but they were happening. The unconscious knew, and the unconscious prepared me. It didn't spare me, but it was the truth. It told me the truth. And that truth has kept me sane and kept me free. There's a deep happiness in that kind of understanding, and you can't get it anywhere else but by a connection to the unconscious. That's all I can tell you.
Yes, thank you so much, John. John, yeah, I'm touched and by your even the dream. I try to figure out what's the Chinese meaning of these are not normal time. And my association related to Dr. Joe Henderson, you are talking about the inner truth, the change. The book of changes, not a simple changes. It is a constancy and the changes.
And change.
Yeah, as your interpretation. So if I translated the 5 English words into Chinese, I use the 并非常态.
Say it. Say that these are those 5 words. What are they in Chinese? These are not normal times. How does one say that in Chinese?
这不是常态. If I use the 5 Chinese characters,
yes,
it's related to your response to Dr. Joe Henderson about the constancy and the changes.
Oh, yes. But in terms of my dream, how would you say my dream in Chinese? The words, these are not normal times. How would you say that in Chinese?
这不是常态.
Think of me hearing that all night long. And each time I said, I get it. It didn't believe I got it. I had to repeat it. That's a smart unconscious. I didn't want to face how not normal they are, but it helped me to do so.
Yes. And John, I want to ask you again. I think we are discuss of that as a senior union analyst for 51 years that you started with the inner truth. What's for you? And also you mentioned Dr. Henderson, you have worked with him for 25 years. So that's a beautiful story. I told the story to students years ago. What's the most important healing factor for Jungian psychology, John? What's the most important?
Patience. And it's also a pun in English. PATINTS, patience. You can't do Jungian analysis without patience. And PATINCE, you can't treat your patients without patience. And they have to be patient with you. My patients were so patient with me. That's it.
I agree with you. And we have to wait and be patient. Beautiful. John, personally, I think your story today have the meaning already. Personally, when you are first encountered with the CGU, personally with the union analyst and Dr. Henderson, to your personal life, John, for union psychology, what's the meaning? Even yours.
Well, the very first person I said I wanted to be a psychiatrist to was a woman who'd had a Jungian analysis. It was on my 19th birthday, and I said, I think I want to be a psychiatrist. She was the mother of a friend of mine, and I wanted to tell her. She was the one I wanted to tell. And so there were so many examples of that. The first person I met when I wanted to go into psychotherapy that I got a referral from was Tom Kirsch, a Jungian analyst. It goes back for me a long, long way. So the main thing is, I think for some of us, it's just natural. It seemed to me that I was going to have to bring myself up. I came from divorced parents, and their parents were both divorced, and they were hardworking, interesting people, but I had to find my own way. And when you have to find your own way, you find your way to Jung, because Jung found his own way. He's the perfect example. And that's, so I found the right group of people, and I found my own way. And it's great good fortune that I was exposed, but I got a lot of opportunities to be a Jungian, many lucky breaks.
Thank you, John. And you started with the sono with the photo note, beautiful, and the way. And also that's really connected with the inner truth. Not only the Richard Wilhelm translation, and you try to make the Zhong, the first character, with the inner, and also the second character with the truth, beautifully. And finally, John. So today is a lot of new students. They are dreaming to become a union analyst. They are students. And what would you say to them for this chance to the young students?
There's no harder way to make your living. Don't think this is the great answer to getting rich and famous and happy. It's a hard life, but it's a very good life because you are serving understanding and individual understanding. This is at the very heart of Jung's psychology. And the world needs understanding now. It suffers from lack of understanding. So understanding, Jung once said his psychology is an understanding psychology. Now, he didn't know, Sonu Shamdasani talks about this. There were other people than Jung who were saying, natural science is one thing, but human beings require understanding. They don't need explanation. They need understanding. The man who wrote this was a great man named Dilthey, Dilthey. We don't know that Jung ever read him, but he was writing this around 1885, and Jung was born in 1875. So if it hadn't been Jung, it would have been someone who pointed the way to an understanding psychology. But Jung was the man who actually made it come alive. And it works. It works better than anything else. So dialogue is the other half, because it's patience, but it's also dialogue. You invited me. This is a dialogue between us. This is a dialogue between countries that should never be enemies. These are two countries that could civilize the world on the basis of understanding, but they've got to understand each other. And so that's the way it is. We're all trying to foster understanding. Isn't that worth spending a life doing? Yes. I'll answer my own question. I know the answer. If it's not your truth, please do something easier. But if it happens to be your truth too, that understanding is a nice thing to get with, you've chosen, if you've chosen Jung, good work. And it will keep giving you what it needs.
Thank you, John. And I would say happy birthday, and very soon. And remember, in your 80th birthday in China.
I can't forever forget.
Next year, John, I hope you can come to Qingdao again, for the theme will be Richard Wertheim for the 10th International Conference.
10 is such a full number. Well, let us see if God is good to us or whoever lets us know.
Okay,
We don't know, but we are meeting tonight, and tonight is already a party. Thank you very much.